Thank you. First of all, thank you to Dr. Meridian and all of the organisers for welcoming to this wonderful event. It really is an honour to be here with you all. But I must start with an apology because unfortunately I need to head back to Scotland tonight to meet farmers in my constituency in St Andrews tomorrow. So as soon as I have spoken, I'm very sorry that I have to leave. And looking at the beautiful food that is already on display, I feel very bad about that. Now, I've been a Member of Parliament for 5.5 years now and formally involved with promoting the rights of Afghan women and girls for less than 4. And that is to say that in this room of incredible politicians, activists, civil rights defenders, I am somewhat of a novice. But after the Taliban took Kabul and we saw the failure of US and Britain's policies in Afghanistan, it was very hard as an elected representative to sit by. When civil defenders were left fleeing for their lives, when promises of better conditions for women by the Taliban were quickly shattered through the appointment of an all-male government, girls were barred from secondary schools, women were unable to travel outside their homes freely, and simply put, we saw a total dereliction of equal rights. And that was when I and other MPs were approached and asked if we could help. Could we do our bit to raise the voices of Afghan women and girls who weren't being heard either in Afghanistan or indeed in the UK? And the answer was that of course we could, because in the face of everything that was happening, how could we do anything but stand in solidarity and do whatever we could to help? And that was how the all-party parliamentary group for Afghan women and girls, which I now chair, got started, with 3 MPs from different parties, knowing that nothing that divided us was more important than working together on something as basic and vital as the rights of women and girls. Now, our goal has always been to raise the voices of Afghan women, regardless of their ethnicity, religion or location, to ultimately make ourselves obsolete, because those voices are already being heard in the places that matter. And as we all know, that work is far from done. There is a gender apartheid taking place in Afghanistan, and questions over future government relations with the Taliban remain unresolved, particularly in the context of needing to provide aid to tackle the humanitarian crisis that many in Afghanistan are now experiencing. And I know that the resettlement programme to bring those at risk to the UK has never lived up to its initial promise, with many left in limbo in countries such as Pakistan. So as MPs and peers, we continue to work together to listen to Afghan women, to raise their voices and to make sure that they are never silenced or forgotten. And we are consulting and cooperating with other parliamentary groups in response to the UK government's cut of the Overseas Development Assistance budget and the supposed mainstreaming of women and girls issues to ensure that that support is maintained wherever possible. And it is also through the work of the all-party parliamentary group that I had the privilege of attending the start of the Tirana summit last September. And I know that many of you will have also been there. In fact, I've seen several faces I remember from there this evening. And I'm sure, like me, you were struck by the commitment of the organisers to fight against the odds to make the summit happen. And I can clearly remember that how powerful it was that despite community differences, the women there had come together as one voice to produce the Tirana Declaration, published in the weeks that followed. And after an incredibly moving day, more than anything, it was the stories of those women who had travelled from Afghanistan to be there in Albania that I took back with me to Westminster. They were doing so at their own personal risk to share first-hand life under the Taliban. But on top of all that was the incredible fact that the summit was happening at all, that with the rooms of Doha being closed to Afghan women and with our own minister sending just a video message, Albania had stepped up, enabling Afghan women to make the decisions together about what they want to see for themselves and for the future of their nation. And it is the type of selfless action rarely seen by a nation and worthy of recognition this evening. In a world which, now than ever, feels like a tinderbox on the edge of destruction, we need more statespeople to be working to promote dialogue, to find common ground and to prevent conflicts in the first place. Now, whilst Albania's hosting of the Tirana summit stands out, during my time on the APPG, I have met countless individuals who have done their bit no matter how big or small. And I want to pay special tribute to our Secretariat, Dr. Neelam Rana, who spends hours on top of her day job advising MPs, liaising with networks so that we are kept informed and up to date, and helping us to do our bit in Parliament. And through her, we have met so many others who are continuing that most radical act of being present and standing in solidarity together, and of simply not being quiet. These people give me hope. Indeed, this ceremony and everyone here gives me hope that ultimately, together, a humane, just and peaceful world can and will prevail. Thank you.